There is no conflict, no contradiction between God and science. Yes, I know, I realize for some of you this statement is strange, controversial. I understand that. Why? Because we live in a world that is increasingly moving away from God. A society that promotes the separation of the science from God and the separation of science from the Bible. Many people say, wait a minute, God is God, the Bible is the Bible, and science is science. God and science are in opposition. There is a conflict, a contradiction between God and science. Well, it is not true, and I will explain. I, for one, have a great passion for science. I am into cars, electronics, scientific discoveries, technological innovations, space exploration, and I do love watching scientific documentaries about the human body, animals, nanotechnology, and so on. So I am not against science. That being said, as a Christian, I am convinced that science is not in opposition to God. On the contrary, the more we explore and use advanced scientific methods and discover amazing things, the more we see how complex, how magnificent, how ingenious God created man, the world, the universe, and the laws that govern it. Science merely uncovers the things that God created in His unlimited intelligence. Science reveals how magnificent God created the human body, animals, plants, oceans, the microscopic world, the entire planet, and the whole universe. So, there is no conflict between God and science. In fact, what does science do? It studies the universe, nature, and life from the biological, physical, and chemical viewpoint. Now, something very important. Embracing science does not mean denying the existence of God. We should rejoice in scientific discoveries as they improve our lives, but at the same time, they make us understand the ingenious way in which God created the world. The more we study, the more amazed we are at the complexity of life, nature, animals, the microscopic world, the entire universe. As science unveils amazing details about the human body and nature, we should revere God and give Him glory for His magnificent creation. As the great biologist Louis Pasteur once said, science brings men closer to God. That's right, I completely agree with him. Louis Pasteur was a renowned biologist and chemist who discovered the vaccine. He was the father of microbiology. He discovered bacterial fermentation, pasteurization, and more. In fact, the term pasteurization is named after Pasteur. Pasteur said there is no contradiction between God and science. The great scientist Louis Pasteur came to the conclusion that there is evidence of divine intelligence everywhere in nature. Pasteur said, the more I study nature, the more I am amazed at the work of God. Also, the great British physicist and engineer Kelvin, the inventor of the Kelvin temperature scale, he said, everywhere around us there is compelling evidence of an intelligent and caring divine design. The atheistic conception seems to me so foolish that I cannot express it in words. Kelvin saw no contradiction, no conflict between the Bible and science. He felt a strong harmony between his scientific work and the truth discovered in the Bible. Then Michael Faraday, the famous physicist and chemist, was a Christian who lived his life and conducted his scientific research in parallel with the Bible. He remained a humble man, even though he gave speeches at the royal court. But most importantly, Michael Faraday often preached Jesus Christ. On his deathbed, someone asked him what speculation he had about what comes after death. You know what he answered? Michael Faraday's response is famous. He said, speculations? I have no speculations. I have certainties. I know in whom I have believed, referring to Jesus Christ. Then Michael added, "My soul rests on certainties. I will be with Christ, and that is enough." As a Christian Scientist, Faraday believed in the resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ and knew that he would be in heaven with him. And the list goes on. There have been and still are many brilliant minds, many scientists who have stated that there is no conflict, there is no contradiction between God and science. Of course, we don't hear about them in the mainstream media because their voices are silenced and their books are not published. They are not featured on television, in scientific documentaries. They are not invited to science shows because they disrupt the constant propaganda pushed to viewers. Also, atheistic indoctrination and secularism would be in danger. The daily obsessive informational bombardment in the mainstream media would be in danger. I conclude here telling you that there is no contradiction between God and science whatsoever. Period. Do not be afraid to defend this in any discussion you participate in. Praise the magnificent work of God and give Him glory. If you believe that this video has been useful to you, if you have friends who are skeptical or who don't believe in God, please share this video. I also advise you to watch the other videos on the channel. You have all the necessary links in the description. May God give you wisdom and bless you. Thank you for your time. Have a blessed day.